What's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with the GC Cup preview for the Genesis Open. I don't think I did a video last week. I can't remember. It has been a super busy week. I was behind on videos. I'm catching up now, so I apologize. Thanks for bearing with me. We actually made the cut in the GC Cup last week at Pebble, but didn't finish all that well. We finished 66th, which... Again, we made the cut. We're going to get a handful of points and stay kind of at the bottom of the pack in this contest, which I'm having a lot of fun with, but that's about the most I can say with it because it's been pretty ugly results-wise. But let's look at the lineup from last week. If you remember, I believe I handmade this lineup. So it had Spieth, Snedeker, Ches Reavie, Adam Scott, Matt Every, and Cam Champ. Looking back, we were, again, I kind of made this comment. I did a Pebble Beach recap in general for last week, where on Thursday and Friday, we were in serious business. We were winning a lot of money. We had a top 5 lineup in the $50 3 max. I believe we had like a top 10 lineup here in the GC Cup and basically just faded everywhere. Matt Every, who, if you would have told me before the tournament started, he would have finished T14. I would have been absolutely thrilled, and I was still thrilled for his, $6,300, 4% owned, like all good. Thrilled to have Every there. But he was, I think he was the first round leader or second place after Thursday. Spieth, who came out scorching through the first 2 rounds, I think he was tied for second after Friday, fades on the weekend, goes 74-75, and just finishes T45 and kind of punts that lineup away. Snedeker, 2 bad rounds in a row, 74 and a 75. He misses the cut. And then Adam Scott, who bogeys 18, which is a par 5, one of the easier courses at Pebble, or I'm sorry, one of the easier holes at Pebble on Saturday. Bogeys 18, misses the cut, hurts. Otherwise, we had Reavie, who finished T38, and Cam Champ T28 with a lot of birdies and eagles along the way. So looking back at this, I think we're doing an okay job here. In a field of 144 players approximately, we probably don't need to have 3 guys that are single-digit owned like we did this week with Cam Champ, Matt Every, and Adam Scott. But we did pair them with 3 guys all over, basically 20%. Ches Reavie, 19.9, Snedeker, 29.8, and Spieth, 30.5. We just didn't get the chalk right, really. I mean, Spieth to fade to go to T45 was unfortunate. Snedeker completely missing the cut. Actually takes a lot of the field with him, but really could have done something about those single-digit guys. We probably could have made a little bit more of a balanced lineup. I've been taking a cash approach to this, which I'm not entirely sure is the best way to do it. We're going to try it again this week, which I'll show you, but I'm still feeling this out. Talked about this last week. Still very much feeling it out. The winner was here, TYA558, 535 points. He had both Phil and Casey, who finished 1-2. So when you have those guys, you don't need much more than that. He actually tacked on Streelman with a T7, Mullinax with a T22, Knox with a T14, and then Sung Jae Im actually missed the cut but took 30% of the field with him. So he was able to make up for the chalk whiffing by getting the winner and second place in here. So if you look at this lineup, I like this a little bit better just in terms of how the ownership ended up playing out. He's got guys kind of in all different tiers instead of piling 3 single-digit guys and then 3 30% owned guys like I might have had. He's got somebody at 10, 14, 15, 21, 26, 30. It feels like a much more balanced. That's a weird word to use because they're not all equal, but it's a very tiered or slotted approach, which I actually really respect here. That's a pretty good lineup. So where does this put us in the standings? Still very much towards the bottom of the ladder here, which I've kind of talked about, not being able to handle the learning curve of these new contests quickly, but when we do figure it out, I have a lot of I got a lot of high hopes here. So we do get 3.6 points for Pebble Beach. We have not earned more than 5.4 at any point this season, and that was back for the first week of the year at the Century Tournament of Champions. So a really, really disappointing start, but there's still plenty left. There's still plenty of segments left. There are still majors left. If you go out and win one of these things, you win a tournament out of 144 people, you get 500 points, which would, vault you straight into the top 10. So you're never, ever out of this, which I like. And that kind of plays out on the PGA Tour, on the FedEx Cup as well, right? Like there's a couple ways to get to the finals. Either you win a couple times throughout the year, or you like start off really hot and then there's a million ways to get there. So we are very much in the thick of this. We just need a high finish here eventually. So what we're going to try to roll out for the Genesis, and I think we have now completed all of like the rotational events, right? I don't think we have any events left that rotate courses. Thank goodness. So here's what we're going to roll out this week. And again, I went with a much more balanced approach because I'm trying to get 6 of 6 through. Getting 6 of 6 through on any normal week would probably guarantee you what, like a 25th place finish, because, such a small percentage of the field is actually going to get it through. Even if you don't have the winner, if you just get 6 guys through, you're accumulating enough points to probably finish like no worse than 25th. Obviously it depends on the chalk, but that's kind of the thought process here. And then what I did was, so to get to this lineup, this is a purely optimized lineup, using making the cut percentage, right? So I think Tony Finau was like 87% to make the cut this week. So when you take all of the guys and their percentages to make the cut, and you look for the highest sum of making the cut percentages that you can make for under $50,000, this is actually the lineup that you'll get. It's Tony Finau, Paul Casey, Matt Kuchar, Charles Howe, Rafa Cabrera-Bello, and Terrell Hatton. And when I looked at this, quite honestly, I loved it. I don't love a lot of lineups. I rarely love lineups, which means this will probably finish dead last. But to me, this made a lot of sense, and it actually hit a lot of guys that I would have ended up playing anyway. I talked earlier in the week that Kuchar, I think, is just priced wrong at $8,500. He's one of the hottest players on the planet. He's having a great year. He's had success here in the past. Cabrera-Bello played well. Charles Howe's a cut machine. Finau's great. Casey, for whatever reason, like, I'm interested to see Casey's ownership. He was 30% owned last week, and it was a failure, quote unquote, to finish second because he didn't really punt it away, but he didn't play well. And then Phil shot, 6 under and just kind of took it from him. So I'm really interested to see what that ownership is going to be on Paul Casey this week. I'm going to go right back to him. He finished second. That's great. Go finish second again. If I would have handmade this, I probably would have jammed Jim Furyk into this lineup at some point, because he kind of would have been my value play that I went to, but this is a much more balanced approach, and we're going to see how this turns out. Let me know what you think about this lineup. Again, this will drop right at lineup lock. So for me, that's 6:40 on Thursday morning. Let me know what you think about this. I mean, I don't think we're out of it, but tell me how bad all my lineups are and how bad this performance has been. Tweet me, it's at DFS on demand, or leave a comment below. Talk to you guys. See ya.